Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Mental Magic here on the Living Theosophy channel. This one is running a little later than the normal 7 p.m. Saturday slot. We had a very special guest. Check out the interview with Dr. Eddie Villamoria on consciousness unfolding. And that's what we talk about here. I've got a quote here from Eddie from that interview, which is, it's all the same thing. What we're talking about here on the Living Theosophy channel are ancient teachings in a modern world coming through as instruction manuals for us in today's world. So I, as a student, am just sharing my experience with you. And we're doing a series on this book, which is called The Secret of Mental Magic. And this is written down by William Walker Atkinson. He also wrote the 14 Lessons in Yogi Philosophy and Oriental Occultism, which is a phenomenally popular book on this channel. It's an audiobook. It's free. Check it out. Still massive views every week, no matter what. But Atkinson, by his own admission, says this is his most important work. And this covers the third objective of Theosophy, which is to investigate the hidden laws of nature and the powers and abilities latent in man. All right. I believe this to be the most important because this shapes your world. You are a co-creator. You are the God source in your life. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm only here to share with you my experience. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the book. Okay. And then I'm going to share with you some of the techniques and ways that I apply this, some of my experience. I've shared with you my success stories. You are manifesting right now. You're seeing the results of past thoughts and emotions. You're doing it whether you know it or not. Why not do it knowingly and change your world? And then you change the world. Okay. So you can use this for good or bad. It doesn't matter. Motive is important. What is your motive? Eddie actually had a quote about that, and I'm going to get to that in a moment, about what are you using this ability for? It is indeed the law of attraction, the law of assumption, the secret. It's not a secret. It's written about since the beginning of time. We have the ability to use this for good in our lives, not just for us, but get what you need out of the way and then get busy applying this for good. Okay. But you can't help anybody if you're hungry, if you're in an abusive relationship, if you're suffering with your health, you have to get yourself in order. So let's do that first, and then let's get to work. So I did this. I used this law to change some really dreadful, ghastly, negative thinking. I decided I couldn't find anything that would help me. So I went and I used this law very recently to change a negative pattern of thinking. And I'm going to tell you how to do that as we go through this episode. So in this book, Atkinson writes, you have attracted this book to you. And really quick, there's a link to a free PDF down below. I'm not looking to sell anything but compassion. I want to help you because you help yourself. You raise the consciousness. Everybody around you benefits from that. So anyway, there's a free copy down below. You have attracted this book to you. Now take what the law has sent you, all right, and use it. And as it brought you this, it will also bring you that which you so ardently desire. All right. So this is a very real thing. Let's talk about it. So talking about the Eddie Villamoria episode, which is on here, you can see that it aired earlier tonight. It'll be up in the channel. Please watch that. He talks about consciousness unfolding. He's written a massive book, like 1,000 pages. It's a magnum opus. And he talks about motive is most important. He's a scientist. And when he's talking about consciousness, he says mind, listen to this, mind expresses itself as matter. Matter is the envelope, the skin, the outer surface of the layers of mind. There is no intrinsic mind and matter dichotomy. They are the same. So if you're using this to get 17 Rolls Royces to show off, the law of equilibrium will check you there. You can't really, I mean, you can do that, but why? What's the purpose of that? You're really going to be wasting your time and this law. But I mean, if that's what you want to do, it can be used for good or bad. It's true. It's a mirror. It is you reflected. All right. What you're seeing in your world is a mirror. It is you reflected. So a lot of people want to complain about what they see in their world, situations that are at hand right now. They want to see something different and they go to the mirror and they complain about the mirror. You look in the mirror. I'm looking in this monitor right now in my hair. I want to complain about that. Is it the monitor that's telling me my hair needs to be adjusted or I've got scar there or something? What is it? Is it the monitor? Is it the mirror? Or is it me? I have to change me. And if I change me, then what I see will change. Okay? So the mirror is what we're talking about. The mirror is the external world, and you can change that by changing yourself. So let's go ahead and people love this. People love being able to hear Atkinson in Atkinson's words. So he's written down the Kabbalion. He's written the 14 lessons. He has written this book. He goes by different pseudonyms, Yogi Rama Sharaka, the 3 Initiates. But I'm going to read this to you, then we're going to get to the meat and potatoes of this episode. Here we go. What is mental magic? What is mental magic? Perhaps the best way to begin our consideration of the subject would be for us to take a look at the original definitions of the 2 words composing the title of these lessons, and that is mental and magic. It is always well to turn to the dictionary when you begin the consideration of any subject. So by doing that, you get the original idea in the minds of the people who first used the terms to give your subject thought a firm and solid foundation. You place yourself in the position of the original thinker, and you have the advantage that always comes from the possession of a new thought, fresh from the mint of the mind. You are able to see the idea free from the things that are attached to it. So the word mental is derived from the Latin word mentis, okay, which means the mind. And Webster defines the English word of mind as of or pertaining to the mind, mental, okay? The definitions of the word mind are more or less imperfect and unsatisfactory, necessarily so because men do not know the real nature of mind and can define it only by the terms of its own states. Perhaps this definition is as clear as many. By mind, we simply mean that by which we perceive, we think, we feel, we desire, and will. And also imagination is in there as well, okay? So we may consider mental as a meaning of or pertaining to that which we perceive, think, feel, desire, and will, okay? So mental is, let's say it again, mental is that which we perceive, think, feel, desire, and will, intent, okay? And then magic, let me explain to you what he says about magic here. Remember, you can get a free copy of the book by clicking the link down below in the Living Theosophy bookshop. The second word magic was derived from the Persian word maj, M-A-G, okay, meaning a priest, like magi. The Persian priests were wonder workers, okay, or magicians. That's where we get magician from. The latter word being derived from the word magi, the name of the hereditary caste of priests of ancient Persia and Media. This Magian, I hope I'm saying that right, order or esoteric cult of the Zoroastrian priesthood represented the center of ancient occultism. And we're going to talk about occultism in a second, and the word occult, we always do, but you can't explain it enough. At the period of the world's history, and their influence was felt in all parts of the world and continues down to this very day. So highly were its members respected and considered that the term wise men, familiar, and magi were synonymous. The 3 wise men mentioned as appearing at the birth of Christ in Matthew were known as the magi, or the wise men from the east. I'm reading Atkinson's words here that are in this book. From the word magi comes the word magic, see, yeah, which Webster has defined as follows, okay? The hidden wisdom supposed to be possessed by the magi, that's magic, relating to the occult powers of nature, our third objective, right? Mastery of secret forces in nature. You can do this, all right? Having extraordinary properties, seemingly requiring more than human power, etc. So we may consider the word magic to mean mastery of the occult forces of nature. The term indicating the existence of such forces and the possibility of the mastery or control over them. Now, the occult forces of nature, occult, really quick, I have to tell you this. We talk about this all the time. I do TikToks on it. Occult is not synonymous with ominous. I'm going to repeat that again. Occult, the word occult, is not synonymous with ominous. It simply means the unconscious, the subconscious, or the superconscious. Why is that? Because occult simply means hidden or concealed. If you don't believe me, look it up. I'll wait. Go look it up. Occult means hidden or out of sight at the moment. It is actually not hidden in a box or, I don't know, in the Himalayas. It's inside you. It's your subconscious. It's not revealed to you because you're not looking there. Look there and you will find it. Thoughts, imagination, hidden within our body and our mind. The true occult knowledge is that we need to understand that all of this is not far away. It's actually inside of us. It's dormant right now. We can activate it. So the occult forces of nature, by the use of the term mental magic, I mean more than the mere mental control of the occult forces of nature. He's saying, I mean that these occult forces of nature are themselves mental in character and nature, and that their control or mastery means simply the conscious use or the control, mastery, and application of certain mental forces called occult that are possessed by humanity and are used by all, either consciously or unconsciously or subconsciously. All right, so it's happening right now, whether you know it or not. The master or control of these forces means that there's one way to knowingly apply that which have all been using blindly and unknowingly. And as knowledge and intelligent use always means power, the knowledge of the principles of these forces and the consequent intelligent application of them brings power to those acquiring it. So we're just going to read a little bit of him, and then we're going to go further into the lessons, because I want to share these with you. If you use these wisely, if you use them, they will improve your life, and they will improve the lives of all beings here on planet Earth. Now, this quote is attributed to Buddha. He says, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. All that we are is a result of what we have thought. It is founded on our thoughts, and it is made up of thoughts, all that we are. If a man speaks or acts with evil thought, pain follows him. As the wheel follows the foot of the ox that draws the carriage, if a man acts or speaks with pure thought, happiness follows him, like a shadow that never leaves him. As you are, you will create. It's just a fact. That's the law of attraction. I know. Okay. It really all boils down to self-concept. It's true. What you are feeling inside here, what you know to be true, is what will happen on the outside. It sounds strange because we were taught the opposite, that what goes on inside of us, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, has nothing to do with anyone else. It's a private show. Not the case. It's actually setting the stage for your life, for the movie that is your life. You are deserving, you are beautiful, you are worthy of whatever it is that you wish to achieve. You can have that no matter what it is. Could be a relationship, could be a job, could be more money, could be enough money. I mean, you don't have to have all the money. I mean, a lot of people use this for selfish means, but I guarantee you, if it's used correctly and used for the best interest of all, if you're looking to better yourself so you can then continue bettering the world, this will work even faster. It's true. So I advise you to get your hopes up. Get your hopes up, but then let it go. Let go of the attachment of having that. And what I'm talking about is changing the way that you feel inside. So you're going to raise your self-concept, your confidence. All of that is going to come up because everything that you've been sending to the object or the situation that you desire is actually going to come back to you. Remember the mirror. Remember the mirror that we talked about, right? You're going to change you, and then what you see in the reflection is going to change. So the biggest fear that I have when doing this is the rejection of it not working, realizing that there is no hope, all is lost, woe is me. And that's something that's very common, the doubt. We have doubt that this works because it seems so simple and so far-fetched at the same time, but it does work. So what I did is I had a situation where I had absolutely obsessive negative thinking about a situation that was completely heartbreaking. It was devastating to the point where it was debilitating. And so what I thought I would do is over the last maybe 7 months is I started to apply this law. I started to take this and I go, what have I got to lose? Nothing. So I went into this book and I went into these teachings and I thought, why don't I go ahead and do what they're talking about? I've got nothing else to lose. I can't stop this. It's almost an addictive thinking to an ominous kind of a feeling of just lack. And so I tried to switch my feelings, but by switching the feelings, this is the first way I did it. And this is very common, is don't think about that red book. Don't think about this red book. Don't. You're thinking about the red book. Don't. Instead, what I did was I switched the thinking to, let's think about this white rock. Look, see, you're not thinking about the red book because you're focusing on something completely different, which is the white rock, right? So if I say, don't think about it, don't think about the red book, you're thinking about nothing but the red book. Think and concentrate on the white rock. You've switched your method of thinking, right? So in a very similar way, what I did was I thought, well, why don't I just go ahead and give into this, I want to say delusion, but let's go into not only fantasy, but like watching a movie. You go in and you watch a movie, you're in the movie, you're involved, the emotions, there's an investment there, you're enjoying the movie. You're not worried about what's going on outside, right? You're enjoying the moment, you're feeling it, you experience what they're presenting to you, you're in it, you're in this world of imagination, if you will, and you will. And then you return to the outside world. And for a moment, you were actually experiencing all that was taking place on that screen. So take the screen inside your mind and do the same thing. So what I did was switch those thoughts. But then I also found that I was still attached to the outcome. I was still, even though I was switching what was happening on the screen inside of me, I was feeling doubt, I was feeling fear, I was feeling attachment, I was feeling potential disappointment. And so what was showing up in the 3D world was actually it's kind of a hot and cold, just flashes, strobes of miraculous things that were taking place, but it wasn't continuous. So what I decided to do then was switch everything, was to go ahead and do these manifestations, do these affirmations, do this visualization, and then switch my attachment to this being a white rock. I go, okay, it's a white rock. We're looking at the white rock. We're going to go ahead and focus on that. That's what it is. And then I'm going to set it down. And then I'm going to spend all that energy that I spent on longing or waiting or hoping or mourning this particular situation. I spent that on nurturing myself and improving who I was. And then I just trusted that that's going to be taken care of. As these teachings will tell you, the how is not important. The how this is going to come to fruition is not important. What you need to do is see it as fact, knowing, not faith, not hope, not belief, but fact and knowing. You do that and then leave it alone and spend all of that energy feeding yourself with love and confidence and hope instead of lack or fear or worry. So you can watch as many of these videos as you want, but until you actually put the practice into application and change you and your state of being and your vibration, nothing's going to change. All right. You can do wishful thinking. You got to follow through with wishful action and becoming. That's the truth. And basically your subconscious does not know the difference. There's a quote here from Dr. Joseph Murphy, who says your subconscious mind is ruled by suggestion. So what you feed into your subconscious mind is going to be accepted. It accepts all suggestions. It does not argue with you. It simply fulfills your wishes. All right. So you're going to reprogram that. And that's not just by words. That's not just by writing things down. It's by becoming them. They always say feeling is the secret. It's true. You must become them and then detach from that and allow and trust that to go ahead and take place. It's not going to happen if you're always messing with it. It's not going to happen if you're always going to be picking it apart. You just need to leave it alone and let it heal and let it come to fruition. And it doesn't have to take months. It doesn't have to be forever and ever. Amen. These can happen in hours, minutes, sometimes days. But if you change you, what you see and what is reflected to you will change because everything is a reflection of you. And the state of hypnagogia, which is actually the state akin to sleep that Neville Goddard talks about, hypnagogia is that time in between sleeping and waking, when you're in between the two worlds. When you are asleep, the theosophical teachings, all of these ancient teachings tell you your soul leaves your body at that time. This is a very sacred time. If you go without sleep, you will actually see folks go into madness. I mean, real, genuine madness. You must have this time to vacate the physical body, to be able to tap into your true self. And so when you're entering that state, when you're still conscious in the physical world, entering the astral world or sleep, which is what takes place, that doorway is where, if you can bring this physical world in and what it is that you desire to change or have or manifest into that state called hypnagogia, which is also the state akin to sleep, that is a miraculous place. So shoot for that. Before you go to sleep, rewrite your day. If something went weird and strange, you had a fight, something fell apart, rewrite it. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference. Rewrite it. Go, well, we didn't have that fight. Everything was fantastic. We had a wonderful day. It was a joyful space. Feed yourself the script of this interior movie and watch the players and the entire set change on the exterior. So don't be afraid of it not working. That was a big fear for me. But when you start to apply this, when you switch your thoughts, instead of trying to change the situation, trying to change it by force or manipulation, I changed me. I changed me, and that situation began to change. But most importantly, I began to feel calm. I began to feel confident. I began to feel happy. And I was no longer in a state of lack because I changed me. Make the commitment, mental magic. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. So let's change our lives. Let's get those in order. And then let's make a change for the good of all beings on planet Earth. These are part of the latent powers in mankind. We'll be doing these every Saturday for as long as I need to be able to get through the book, to share these teachings with you. I believe they will make an incredible difference in the future of our planet. And I love you, and I'm grateful for you. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. Look at us here. We are backstage at Living Theosophy. If you would please click like, subscribe, share is great. It helps get the message out to those who are looking for these teachings. Thank you so much.